You see the Australian property market now, and it's just absolutely on a boom trajectory. And where you traditionally thought maybe if you grew up, say, in Sydney, New South Wales, you knew that market. We've sort of seen the trends over in the West where the Perth market has come up, but literally every part of Australia now is sort of seeing growth. The difference with Adeal, Adeal's an energiser bunny. I'm Cameron Taylor. I'm a national manager in the transport and logistics space. Always lived in Sydney, currently reside at Rouse Hill. My daughter lives in the Hawkesbury, so close by, all grown up now. I would describe the funny moment. Adeal is an energiser bunny. He just doesn't stop. There's no off switch, day, night, weekends, and seriously makes you laugh. I think the trouble was a positive way. I think that there was so much informed detail whilst working in a full-on role. You were able to quickly dissect this. It was high level, and it was kind of where it wasn't going to be stuff of the never. It was sort of here now, and it was that moment of, right, we're doing this. Financial freedom for me would be sort of at the age that I'm at now. We think sort of where you previously wouldn't have thought so, but you know, we all have looming retirements coming up, and I think the really conscious thing now is that you need to be able to retire and not live an extravagant, but be able to live comfortably. There are simple goals of being able to be mortgage free and to be able to have an investment portfolio that's going to support you for longer term, because we're all fitter and healthier now, and people are living a lot longer. So that to me is the financial freedom. Biggest goal in life is the most important thing is eternal happiness. The fact that I can support my daughter to achieve all of her goals and be heavily involved in her life is absolutely key for me. Real estate investing is not something new, but doing it in this way is very much a nuance of that. And by doing it through someone like Adeal, you can actually get out of the traditional of where you would only buy, say, in a market that you were comfortable. If you've grown up in Sydney, that's where you were comfortable to play. And really now, from an investment point of view, you've got to look way outside that Sydney market. So dealing with somebody like Adeal gives you that confidence where you never once would have, or really in a role like where I am, but very time constrained to do so. Property investing, yes, whilst having done it before, it was always more sort of insurer. It was kind of the default position of what you know. So you would take comfortable and you would buy something that was traditionally sort of in your area, or maybe just outside, and that now in hindsight was probably not the right strategy. In fact, you know, given that there are so many factors now for growth, capital, rental yield, whilst having done it before, you do what you're comfortable with. I think where this is now a whole new paradigm where it takes you out of your comfort zone, and really for me, it's probably been the best thing that I've ever done. I had been considering it for probably about 12 months. I sort of went down the path like many that have gone to explore self-managed super, and it's kind of, that's a regret of not having done that earlier, but thankfully have a fantastic financial advisor who's assisted to get that journey underway and to unlock that so that you can do an investment strategy very differently. You see the Australian property market now, and it's just absolutely on a boom trajectory, and where you traditionally thought maybe if you grew up, say, in Sydney, New South Wales, you knew that market. We've sort of seen the trends over in the West where the Perth market has come up, but literally every part of Australia now is sort of seeing growth, and it far outstrips sort of what you would traditionally get, say, out of either blue chip shares. I think property gives me a lot more confidence. I've heard trials and tribulations with Bitcoin. Some people have done exceptionally well. I just don't have the confidence to play there. I've heard of some absolute disasters as well. I think for me, not so much earlier. I have had investment properties previously, but it's been in very much the traditional structure of buying close and knowing the market. I think for me, what definitely is earlier, and this is where someone like Adeal is key, is to take you out of your comfort zone and literally spin the dial on the compass and say be open to go, whether it's Western Australia or it's Adelaide, it's far north Queensland. That is something that is now very different. With the cost of living in Australia, that you, whilst you would previously think that's a significant number and would be sufficient, sadly it's far from it, and really now, that number needs to be significantly more. What had stopped me from looking at the broader Australian market is not having the confidence or really the time to do that. That's kind of delving into the unknown. Working as a senior manager and working in the dangerous goods space, I'm essentially responsible for a national workforce, and at times that can be 24/7 for being on call. So, and you put a lot of work travel as well. So unfortunately, you don't have that luxury to go, I'll take today off and dedicate to a day of real estate exploring. I was introduced to Adeal through my financial advisor, who I highly regard, and look, that's really for me was a godsend. I had heard of that's kind of the way now, with particularly with self-managed super. That's a strategy to use a buyer's agent, because you can be very informed, but I was a little bit nervous about going that path because I suppose it's sometimes, like people with the real estate experience, it can be exceptional or it can be really poor. Results with the deal have been great. I at one point thought we might have been looking at the west or maybe south, but ended up purchasing a property through my self-managed super in North Queensland at Mackay. And in a very short space of time, I've seen capital growth. There'll be a rental increase shortly as well. So it's absolutely exceeded my expectations for both capital and for rental yield. The property at Mackay was purchased for $670K and is currently rented at $690 per week. The really pleasing thing is that in the space of roughly 2 months, we've already seen capital growth of 30 to 40K. So with that, whilst it is a commitment to use the buyer's agent, and there is the buyer's agent fee, that's easily well and truly been offset. Very much worthy of the investment to deal with the deal, and the team I saw, he gave me confidence. We've achieved great results, highly informed. It's this sort of stuff that you want from a premium service, to be fully informed. It's a really big decision and a commitment to make, particularly any investment, but particularly when you're looking at now out of your self-managed superannuation. So yes, absolutely no hesitations to recommend a deal. He and his team delivered in spades. If I hadn't have worked with the deal, I think realistically that could have been anything from 6 to 18 months, because even, for example, if I had the inkling or the incline to want to go to, say, North Queensland, I've then got to take time off work, fly up there, start to understand the local market. So really, it's a little bit open-ended, but it would have been a significantly longer. So as with anything with property, the sooner you get in, the sooner the returns for growth. Probably the biggest fear that I would have had, not so much a fear, I'd say that's probably the wrong word, but more a nervousness of, we all had that sort of fear of being taken out of your comfort zone. You like to do what you know, so it was kind of it was a big step to explore and be be very open to go, are you prepared to purchase anywhere within Australia based on some really informed advice. The difference with Adeal, Adeal's an energizer bunny. He's just non-stop, full of energy, just it's not which is typically a problem in sales. It's the initial hype and engagement, and then we get massive drop-off. With Adeal, it's actually just, it's an intensity this way. The biggest benefit is just being the confidence and I would say very much ahead of what I anticipated. I thought that this journey to engage Adeal and to find the right property would take several months, and it was almost instantaneous. We literally did this within weeks and secured a great property, and the rest is history. I would very much say from my experience, don't delay it and take that step and step out of your comfort zone, because if you're someone like me that's been in the Sydney market, pretty much for all of your life, that market's kind of really tapped out now. So if you are looking for genuine investment, no matter what part of Australia it is now, everything is on the up and up. So the sooner that you get into that market and find the right property that's going to deliver what your goals are, I would say don't hesitate. For me, there'll never be a property crash. The market will sort of have its highs and lows. I think the days of boom and bust are absolutely over. That's sort of the Australian property market is now renowned world over as being an absolute premium. I feel great. It kind of was, in many ways, it felt quite elusive to achieve that. The fact that we've sort of well and truly expedited that process and have seen immediate results is just fantastic. And there's none of that, as we say, that typical thing, if you buy something and there's the buyer's regret. There's been none of that. It's been very much the thing of, wow, I wish I'd done this sooner. Dealing with the deal made that actually quite easy. I have an extremely full-on role, like many people do, and because Adeal works at awful hours and doesn't have an off switch, if it means I can get back to him during the day, or could say, look, can we do this later? And then he's always available of an evening, so there was no impact. He's available of weekends, so look, he made it easy. This purchase is very much helping me achieve desired goals as part of investment portfolio, and really for me, this will see in a what we'd say a relative short time, sort of where my goal is to sort of get sort of maximum growth over say a 7 to 8 year window where I think you will get the growth out of investment properties, but say, for example, had I purchased something here in Sydney, that period would be far longer.